Hello, TFO faithful. It is the TFO commish, the Raj, and we're here 9 weeks into Season X, and we're now gonna talk mid-season review. We're gonna look at the last 9 weeks of action. That's 8 games. The buys are all finished up now, so we have 8 more games to finish the season, Season X. And so here is how we stand currently in the mid-season. So in the badass snap, we got the wannabe ballers and the video game vixens tied up 5-3. In the badass crackle, we got the villains of cinema up there at 7-1, with the champions of luck and the TVA, the Time Variance Authority, right back there at 5-3. In the badass pop, we got Lord of the Rings tied up with the SST Records, 3-5. The bad guy snap got the Dungeons and Dragons leading that division 7-1, with Glorious Kazakhstan at 5-3 right behind them. Bad guy crackle, you got the High Company all tied up with the Blitzkrieg, 6-2. And then the bad guy pop, where Overwatch is leading by 1 over Oops, Wrong Sport. And The Office is right there too at 3-5. Looking at the bad total offense here, the High Company takes it top for offense. Top 5 there, the High Company, Glorious Kazakhstan, Champions of Luck, Video Game Vixens, and the Blitzkrieg. And then for bad total defense, the number 1 is that Time Variance Authority. And they're followed by Oops, Wrong Sport, Gibraltar's Overwatch, Dungeons and Dragons, and The Office. In the Mad Dog snap, we got Letterkenny Irish 8-0 with the Shitza Leahy still in it 5-3. The Mad Dog Crackle, where you got the Sunday Night 7-1 with the Yacht Rock and Rap back there at 3-5. And then you got Venture Industry leading right now for the Mad Dog Pop, with the Cleveland Steamers right behind them with 1 loss, and even the Bro at 2-6. Mad Max Snap, you got the TMNT Torturers leading 7-1 with the Italian Stallions right behind them at 4-4. In the Mad Max Crackle, you got the Tiger Kings 8-0. And then the Mad Max Pop, you got the Prophecy Destroyers 7-1 with the Seattle Sound right behind them at 5-3. So the mad total offense, the mad offensive leader right now being the Tiger Kings, followed by Seattle Sound, Letterkenny Irish, the Italian Stallions, and the DC Villains. For defense, it's the Letterkenny Irish who lead the way with the Italian Stallions, Shitza Leahy, Venture Industry, and Prophecy Destroyers filling out the top 5. So now I'm going to pull up my patented ranking system. I didn't steal this from anybody. This is copyrighted Raj here. And so the ones in green would have clinched their division. The ones in yellow either would have qualified for a wild card or right on that precipice of qualifying for a wild card. And then the red ones wouldn't have had a shot and doesn't look good for them moving forward. So this gives you a good idea where we're seeing everybody. Tiger Kings, number 1. Letterkenny Irish, number 2. The Dungeons and Dragons, number 3. Prophecy Destroyers, number 4. And the Villains of Cinema, number 5. Now let's do 10. TMT Torturers at 6. Sunday Nights at 7. The High Company at 8. The Blitzkrieg at 9. And the Seattle Sound at 10. So there's so many good teams this season. There are a lot of really good teams. And as we go into this last 8 weeks, I know everybody's going to try to put the pedal to the metal, try to get touchdown after touchdown, victory after victory to secure your team's spot in the Season X playoffs. Now, if the season was to end today, well, there's some players that deserve recognition. So here's my mid-season all-stars. I went ahead and picked the player I felt was the best at that position for that ROM. So quarterback, OG Runts of the High Company. He's just slinging the ball everywhere. He is throwing it high as a kite. Backup quarterback Norman Bates, Villains of Cinema, have dealt with injuries. Norman has come in there and been a solid rock for them, making sure that they get victories as Ghostface isn't in the lineup. RB1 Lena Tracer of Gibraltar's Overwatch looks like she's going to break the 255 mark. Ken Masters of the Champions of Luck, that Season 5 performance that Ken had when he was offensive MVP, it looks like he's trying to repeat it, and he was an RB2 that season as well. Earl Meggett of the Wannabe Ballers, RB3, and RB4 Tommy Rogers of Heroes of Wrestling. Maybe they're doing a little bit of returning, but odds are it's them picking up the slack with injuries. Injuries have definitely been hitting a lot of teams. Wide receiver 1, Brody Bruce of the Blitzkrieg, catching it, the chocolate pretzel right in the hand. Wide receiver 2 and wide receiver 3, both from Kazakhstan, the Pussy Magnet and the Smile Pussycat. Definitely a high-octane passing team, so they know how to get those pussies into the rotation. And wide receiver 4, Sex God Eurus, Greek legends dealing with injuries this season as well. So the Sex God coming in there and getting the position he needs. Tight end-wise, Dante Hicks of the Blitzkrieg and Samus Aran of the Video Game Vixens tighten it up. Defensive-wise, you got the Julius Campbell of the Wannabe Ballers, Laura S. Arseed of the Video Game Vixens. She is having a fucking great season. And Treebeard of the Lord of the Rings. Linebacker-wise, the big rubber fist from glorious Kazakhstan. Wannabe Ballers have 2 linebackers, Vontae Mack and Bobby Boucher. Water H2O, baby! And the PB Breath of the High Company rounds out the linebacker core there. Right cornerback, you got the Raven of the Dungeons and Dragons. And the left cornerback, you got Watery Kanezo of the Champions of Luck. You just cast lightning on him and then you jump on him a few times. It's fine. Full safety, you got Rick the Pitman Hart, one of my favorite players this season on the Time Variance Authority. And strong safety, Hades from the Villains of Cinema. And special team-wise, Tully Blanchard doing kick return from Heroes of Wrestling. They've had to return a lot of kicks. Calvin Candy of the Villains of Cinema, punt returning. Mr. Ray Finkel out there, Villains of Cinema, kicking the ball. Man, Ray Finkel looking just amazing. He could kick it all the way. And then you got the Batman Flux of the Champions of Luck doing punt. Over on the mad side, quarterback 1, Rocky Balboa, the Italian Stallions, 4-4, but have an immense point ratio. So don't count them out. They're definitely underdogs right now, but I don't know why, because Rocky is tearing it up. Quarterback 2, Camo Gardena of the Prophecy Destroyers. They've dealt with injuries, and they've dealt with them very solidly with good backups. Running back 1, Bo Nur of the Cleveland Steamers, showing why he was the first Hall of Famer ever. RB2, La Fin du Monde, another Hall of Famer from the Beer Gods, coming back this season for the Hall of Fame rule. Running back 3, Tom Petty of the Seattle Sound, and running back 4, Cocaine Mule Cat of the Sunday Knights. Both teams dealing with some injuries. Cocaine Mule Cat, I believe, does a lot of returning, so I bet you got a lot of points there. Wide receiver-wise, Turtle Leonardo of the TMNT Torturers, they're having a great season. Wide receiver 2, Christopher Cross of the classic Yacht Rock and Rap. Not Chris Cross. Christopher Cross isn't going to make you jump. No. The defense is rap. The defense is rap. Wide receiver 3, Howard Baskin of the Tiger Kings, meow. And wide receiver 4, Mr. Fantastic of the Marvel Mutants, making a stretch there. Tight end-wise, man, if I have to hear JVM talk about Ivan Drago being a fucking house, then I guess I'll hear it, because he is a house. He's fucking one of the best tight ends I think we've ever had. And tight end 2, Casada Force of the Prophecy Destroyers, coming in there and doing a lot of returning, so getting a lot of points. Defensive-wise, D-line, you got Coltrane of the Sunday Knights, Dennis Rodman of Oops, Wrong Sport, and Circle of Terror from the Prophecy Destroyers. All 3 of these men are tearing it up, getting in there and putting lots of pressure on the quarterbacks. Linebacker-wise, Warthog Bebop of the TMNT Torturers, Sardine Oil, Tiger King, Tommy Gunn of Italian Stallions. I believe he's the leading sacker right now in Mad. And then you got Cobra Man Sakuzi of the Prophecy Destroyers. Yu-Gi-Oh! And then quarterback-wise, right cornerback Jim Dickens of Letterkenny Irish, and left cornerback Q-Tip of the classic Yacht Rock and Rap. Full safety, you got Super Preda Bro from Broforce, and the strong safety Boots of Letterkenny Irish, which I believe I saw a sexy topless picture of him posted to the board earlier today. Gee, thanks. And then, special team-wise, kick returner Raj is a pussy? What? Cleveland Stamers? Right. That's a great player. Horrible name, but great player. Punt returner James Brown, ow, of the Italian Stallions. Kicker Father Carmine of the Italian Stallions, blessing every kick that he can. And then punter-wise, the shit leopard of the shits of Leahy. Those are my all-stars for the mid-season. Congratulations. And then mid-season TFO fantasy football rankings, as John Balog is winning by almost 200 points currently. Balog first, Silver Fox second, Petrosac third, JVM fourth, Rick Pittman fifth, Bobby Lesher sixth, Seth McKee seventh, Frank Balog eighth, Raj ninth, Eric Nurses 10th, and Michael Jenkinson 11th. Thanks, everybody playing in fantasy football. 8 more games. Anything can happen. And the top 5 have been rotating in and out in different ways the last few weeks. So a lot still to be had in fantasy football. And remember, the winner of TFO fantasy football will get to name the blimp for the 2023 season. Now, TFO is approaching the 10th week, and the 10th week will be the last week we will have to deal with the glitch. It has been determined that the glitch was an infected virus created by Charles Boyardi to try to take down the TFO and resurrect it as his Pasta Football Federation. These kind of allegations can't be proved, but we know the truth. And we will not sit idly by as Charles Boyardi tries to destroy what we have built. TFO has been here 10 seasons, and his delicious pasta will not persecute us anymore. Charles, I'm calling you out. One-on-one, brother. It's gonna have to end one way or another. But anyway, the glitch, next week, last week. Then we won't have to deal with it anymore. That's the last week for Bad. Mad's already had all their games with the glitch, and so then we'll be going into the last games glitchless. So what else do we got to look forward to? Well, next week is week 10, which is Heritage Week, which means that teams will wear the uniform of their owner's very first team. If it's the same color as their current uniform, then they just wear their current uniform. But you can see a few examples there. Cleveland Steamers changing out the blue and gray for the green and poop. The Wrestlers going to honor the Atlanta Maulers from the WCW era, and the Time Variance Alliance going back and finding a variant of themselves as they honor the Champs Chumps uniforms. Every team will be doing this. Venture Industry will be wearing the Duckburg money bags, for example. The 8-Bit Brigade uniform will be worn by the Video Game Vixens. Even rare uniforms that you may not realize. For example, first season TMNT Torturers had white helmets with green uniforms, and they will be donning them this week for Heritage Week and week 14 when we celebrate Heritage Week one more time. 2 weeks of Heritage, because TFO is about history. Today, tomorrow, forever. And that's it, folks. Mid-season review. Tell you what, it's been a hell of a season so far. A lot of interaction online, a lot of smack talk, a lot of great matchups, and a lot of fucked up matchups, to be honest with you. And I assume that's all going to continue forward as we proceed further into Season X. I hope you join us for the last 8 weeks of the season as we find out who is the best of the best to qualify for the Bahamut Bowl and go into the postseason tournament and be crowned TFO Season X champion. It will be one of our teams, and that's all we know. So join us and see the future, and we will see you this Tecmo.